Dude, so I hear that Shadows are getting a quick play fusion spell called El Shadow Fusion. It lets you fusion summon on your opponent's turn. That's kind of crazy, right? Like I never really heard of that before, and like it's that's kind of crazy. I mean, this deck has its own R-type specific quick play fusion spell, and now we don't have to rely on only Shadow Fusion. That's kind of crazy, right?
It's not enough. We need more support.
Okay, well, I guess if that's not enough fusions, there's also a card called Nefe Shadow Fusion that they're releasing. It's a equip spell. It's kind of like a pseudo fusion, and it lets you like declare attributes, and you can like make whatever Shadow monster you want based on the attribute you call. That's pretty cool too, right? I mean, that is that good enough for you?
We need more support.
Okay, ungrateful much. Well, there are some new fusion monsters. The first one is an Earth attribute. Her name's Shadow Shikinaga. She negates special summon monsters' effects. Who needs effect veiler, right? That's kind of crazy because you can like summon her multiple times, and it's pretty easy to bring her out if you're playing Mathematician. Like that's crazy. All you really had was like Construct and Window before.
Not good enough. We need more support.
Okay, I guess. I don't know why you're not satisfied. Oh, there's a fire attribute one. His name's Shadow Grisha. He's coming out too. He negates special summons. That's really, really cool. I mean, they got like 2 new fusion spells and more fusion monsters. And he kind of looks like Shadow Core and the Anti-Luminescent Knight. It's like an XYZ monster. I don't know, there might be some lore behind that. But he negates special summons, which is pretty cool. I mean, they couldn't do that. Like now when you play against Cleaforts, you can negate the Opinum Summon. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Like, wow. It's basically, they're getting cards that they never had. I don't know why you're complaining.
Because it's not enough. We need more support.
Okay, that's not enough? Well, there's 2 other fusion monsters. El Shaddai Wendigo. It protects them from destruction by battle by special summon monsters. And, there's another one called Annoy Attila. She's a water attribute. She actually prevents you from special summoning from the grave or the hand with spell or trap card effects. That's pretty cool because Satellar Knights do use Call of the Haunted a lot. I think that's amazing, right? Like, that's a whole nother floodgate. It's like this deck is just looking like a control deck. It's got like every attribute. Super Poly could be amazing in this deck. How is that not good enough for you, dude? That sounds pretty crazy to me. I think Shadows are just looking really promising.
It's not good enough. We need more support.
Wow, ungrateful much? Well, actually, they just released a structure deck called All Showdown, I believe. It released some new main deck monsters, Ariel, Wendy, and Kyle's. A light attribute should all now. Construct is Bay, we all know this. They have like the triple DD Crow, a revival from Banish Zone, and special summon from deck one way or the other, special summon from hand. Now they can special summon from the hand, from the deck, from the graveyard, and the Banish Zone. There's nowhere they can't special summon from. And they can add all their stuff from graveyard to hand. I mean, those new cards are pretty cool, right?
We need more support.
Wow. How hard is it to please you people? Oh, well, they did release a new fusion monster and a trap card that's like, it's like a Call of the Haunted, but it's like you could just keep adding it back because it's a Shadow card, and it's kind of cool. It has a graveyard effect. It allows you to do combos you could never do before. And then there's a card called Shadow Alcalone. I want to just call it Al Capone. It's gangster. It could permanently negate cards on the field, and it adds from deck or graveyard to hand. Like, they never had this stuff. Like, this makes them so much better. How is this not good enough for you? I don't understand, dude. I think this is crazy. This is like a new dimension that the deck just never had before.
We need more support.
Okay, well, they did release a continuous trap card called Shadow Schism, I think. It actually lets you fusion summon during every main phase, and it lets you banish materials from your grave or your field to do it. So like now you don't have to always rely on having access to a fusion spell or Schism or El Shadow Fusion, and it kind of just like they have so many ways to fusion summon now, and it also lets you send a monster with the same attribute from the field to the grave, and should also have every attribute. Imagine the possibilities. And it doesn't target, it doesn't destroy. I mean, that's definitely got to be good enough, right? That has to be amazing. Like, this deck has so many cards in its arsenal. It has such an amazing toolbox now. Just little by little, they've given you more and more and more. It's still not enough?
It's not good enough. We need more support.
Wait a minute. But they also took Construct off the ban list a while ago. They did that for you? Wait a minute. Winda's still legal? I mean, that card is so oppressive, I don't even know why it's still legal. You pretty much have the deck at full power. It has all of its cards that it had in the past, and it has more now than it's ever had. It's better than it's ever been, and that's still not good enough? What does it take to please you?
Tier 0. We need more support.
Well, rumor has it there's 2 new Shadow main deck monsters. I don't know if they're going to make any more support, dude, so I think at this point, you're either going to keep complaining or just be grateful. But they have Shadow Genius, which is an Earth attribute. He basically makes the monster unable to either activate its effects, or he can protect the monster, your Shadow monsters, from being affected by monster effects. There's another one which seems pretty neat. It lets you send one from extra deck to grave to banish a monster with the same attribute you sent. You could send, all of them have like their own effects when they're sent to the graveyard, so you can like add off Opcolone depending on what you target. It has like an RNG mill aspect. I don't know if you're gonna get anything else, dude, but to be honest, at this point you might as well just appreciate what you have, because I'm not gonna lie, bro. Some people's favorite decks, like Insectors, for example, or Agents, like you remember the Agents, right? They're not getting any new support. And to be honest, there's other archetypes that definitely could deserve more support, but they're not getting anything. And your deck's gotten consistent waves of support over time, and it's still not good enough to you, but yet I have friends that are satisfied with their deck, and they're not complaining, even though their deck hasn't got support in years. What is it gonna take, dude?
If my opponent is still allowed to play Yu-Gi-Oh, we need more support!